Oh shit. Waiting on you guys. Lane, let's go.
Oh, thank you. Just a little announcement. Your hostess with the mostest, Hot Tamale. I'm having a bum knee day today and yesterday. So instead of me running up and down the stairs like I usually do, I'm going to be sitting over there with my pet demon judging you all. Mentally. I'm not going to say it out loud. That would be rude. Okay?
I don't know. I would say it would be a privilege to be judged by you.
Um,
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for Smoking on the Herd Open Mic here at Kickbutt Coffee in Austin, Texas? I'm Ernie B, and here's your host, Hot Tamale, and the lovely Lost in Thought.
So lovely.
Lost in thought. He's a gorgeous bitch.
And I'm already out of focus. Okay, there.
Ah, shit. See, I still can't get over that he shaved. I got so used to him looking like the
I mean, I
dude
kind of
on
had
on
to
Big Lebowski.
for the costume last night.
I know. Oh, wait. What were you dressed up last night?
I was a zombie home invader.
My microphone sounds... No, I guess it sounds okay.
That's awfully specific. Mm-hmm. See, I dressed up at work, and I dressed up as America. I literally had my hair in pigtails. I had a camo hat. I drew in freckles. I had these big overalls and a Budweiser shirt. And people were like, what are you dressed up as? I was like, ask me again. What are you dressed up as? America. Everyone's like... I don't know. See, that's what I do when I have no imagination for costumes.
I don't know. I think that's imaginative.
Okay. What's happening, Kickbutt? You're about to witness the baddest open mic in the ATX, spoken and heard live every Sunday afternoon at Kickbutt Coffee, Music, and Booze. That's right. This is not your average ordinary coffee shop. We do have a full bar. And behind the bar tonight, we have the sorceress, Crystal. Who will keep you fed, caffeinated, and
buzzed.
But nothing shows your undying love and affection to your bartender like what? Money. Tips. Just the tip. Tip your bartender. Please tip your bartender. Especially if you just have some annoying singles from your late last night, whatever. You're like, oh, well, I didn't give them all to Candy last night. What do? Give them to Crystal. Give them to your bartender. She wants your tips. And Lost in Thought? Mm-hmm. The drink specials tonight are mixed 12s, $4.25. Get your antioxidant and your booze at the same time. One of my favorites is the Kickbutt Bloody Mary. Instead of Tabasco, it's Sriracha. It's really delicious. And if you're having sinus problems, boop, you'll be nice and clear right there. But also, me, Ernie B, and Lost of Thought have drinks named after us.
We do. Yes.
Lost of Thought has the Lost of Thought Brain Blender, 4 liqueurs. Your brain will get blended.
Yes.
The hot tamale, hot cocoa. Instead of cinnamon, it is Fireball. It's really good.
Fiery.
And Ernie B, who is fighting a case of perpetual tired, always has the Ernie B power-up shot, which is basically caffeine and alcohol. Gotta love it. Okay, so wait a minute. How many newbies do we have today?
I don't think we have it.
Well, we have one. We have one newbie. Okay, that's enough. So
Oh, I didn't get his
yeah, we
name.
are
I'll
falling
do
out of
that. I'll do
focus.
that after this.
Okay, let me do not the rules, guidelines. Okay, let me see.
We have those
The
guidelines.
open mic
Preferred behavioral techniques.
Yeah. Okay.
That sounds
Okay.
worse.
Since we kind of have a light list right now, but people might start trickling in, or they might show up at 1 a.m. going, "Is this the open mic?" No, it's not.
No, there'll be bands playing then. There's another show after this.
That actually happens. Ernie B tells me later. Okay.
They
so,
do in the middle of a. No, there's a band playing. What was it, last week?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, throwing down on stage, a total band just rocking out, and some guy comes. Is this the open mic? And I looked at the stage. No.
That would be different.
Imagine a whole band coming in and doing a show as the open mic. Oh no, we're just doing open mic.
They're just that good. Okay, so 5 minutes or 2 songs, but since we're, like I said, since we're a light crowd tonight, maybe we can be a little more flexible about that.
You can talk a little bit slower if necessary.
Like the Budweiser frogs?
No, like the Ents. And the Ents don't say anything unless it is worth taking a long time to say.
Okay,
In old Entish.
Ernie, this really hurts, so come on, help me out here. Okay, support your open mic and buy something from the bar. Tip your bartender. Can you cuss? Lost in thought.
Well, you know what? I'll answer that with like one of my mom's favorite quotes from one of my favorite movies, which was Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. Lady Chablis when she says, 2 tears in a bucket, motherfuck it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Be considerate and quiet while other performers are on stage, but as Lost in Thought says,
We love audience participation. We do. But read the room.
exactly.
And also, didn't you, the reverse, right? Because the performer has to be respectful of the audience too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It goes both ways. Okay. And while you are up here on the mic is yours. Pimp your product. If you're going to be headlining at the Paramount, let us know. If you have T-shirts with your face on it, let us know. I said T-shirts. I didn't say the other thing. If you are on the list and you are not here when your name is called, we will move on. That usually applies when we have about 30 people on the list.
Yeah, because people tend to go outside and smoke, and they kind of get caught up in conversation out there. And
then they'll go, oh, wait.
I mean, even though there's speakers outside, they're not necessarily paying attention because they're talking
Actively.
with an actual person.
Sometimes I feel like
I know what it is. My monitors are real loud, right?
They are.
It sounds really weird for me. Okay, hold on. Let me fix that.
They are like super loud.
because sometimes I feel like Dora. Have you seen this poet? Where? Where?
Yeah, we had Sloppy Seconds playing last night, and there must have been, it's a punk band, guys, and there must have been close to 300 people here.
Wow.
It was insane.
Yeah, I walked into a guy. So there was a guy I saw at HEB yesterday. He saw me wearing this shirt, and I was like, "Are you going to watch a show tonight?" And I was like, "No, I won't be there." But he did tell me about Sloppy Seconds.
Okay, so we are getting ready to get this started.
They were very good too, by the way.
Lost in Thought. Who is coming up first?
So first, coming up first, as in the number one. As
Uno.
Yes, as in right now, we have Mr. Clint the Poet.
Oh, already? Okay.
This is so different without Tom Moon. It's okay.
Yeah, no 3,000 balloons on stage.
We'll just envision it.
No sex toys.
What?
No sex toys. I'm leaving.
I know, exactly. Well, then, Tom, this one's for you. Wherever you are. Try this. Test the volume. See if I can do this stoned. That's the thing.
Well, you gotta do that all the time.
Wait, see? Test, test. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, and the dreams that you dream of once in a lullaby. High, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dream of, dreams really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like lemon drops, high above the chimney top. That's where you'll find me, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dare to, oh I can't hide. Well, I see trees of green and red roses too. I'll watch them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Well, I see skies of blue and see clouds of white, the brightness of day. Well, I like the dark, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Andrew. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies crying, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than we'll know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Someday I'll wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like lemon drops, high above the chimney top. That's where you'll find me, somewhere up high. And the dreams that you dare to, oh, I can't I? Ooh.
And Reggie does it.
Ooh.
I'll let you know if someone else logs in.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, give it up for Clint the poet.
I thought that was the perfect way to start the show. Yes.
Beautiful.
That was nice.
That was actually very beautiful, Clint.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I had no idea you could sing. Oh, that's right. You used to be in choir. Yeah, theater. That's right. You told me that. I don't know.
Wait, real quick, in case you guys are wondering, I put the veil on so I won't be distracting. Although at the same time, people are probably going, "Who's that crazy chick up on stage with the veil?"
When you were sitting up there, you kind of looked like a prop, like something that people put out, for Halloween.
Cool.
Because you were just sitting there motionless.
I could deal with that. I could be a prop. Okay.
No, I was gonna say, what was that? What was the name of the guy that sang that, Clint? Yeah,
remember him.
Israel Long.
And he actually did that song in one take at 3 in the morning.
Yeah, that was going to tell the story. Thank you. He was he had this idea like at 3 o'clock in the morning for real to do that song, and I guess to mix those two songs together because they worked, right? And he calls this recording studio up at 3 in the morning, and the guy picks up the phone and he says, "Oh, okay, I'll be right there." They recorded the song on one take, and boom, it became a big hit. But it might not have ever been if the engineer would have been like, "No, you got to come back in the morning." Click, it's 3 in the morning. What do you? No, he went in and did it, and the rest is history.
Yes, totally. Okay, lost the thought. Who's coming up next?
When I was a security guard back in Rochester, New York, when you
Okay,
said...
wait. See that? Just that
So
that one line.
Yeah, you got
blows
to
my
give
mind.
people a chance to absorb that for a minute.
He was a security guard. Okay, go ahead.
I can be very intimidating.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Oh, a fellow Rochesterite in the house.
Rochesteronian.
Rochesteronian.
I can ask, we're very intimidating people, aren't we?
Rochesterer.
Rochesteroan.
Yes.
Okay, stop. Continue.
So when I was a security guard, I would stand at the door sometimes, and I would just be observing. And some people thought I was a mannequin, and then I would move, and they would go, "Oh shit!" But yeah.
Okay.
You were doing your best Royal Guard pose. Mm-hmm. Now my mic sounds thin. It's driving me crazy.
Sound engineers are never happy.
Well,
with their
because
mix.
last night it was extremely loud, so maybe that must be it too. I'm just kind of freaking out because it's not really loud right now.
Okay, lost the thought. Who's coming up next?
Coming up next,
Coming up.
we have Miss Lindsay Dilks.
Woo!
To Pilgrim loves sunshine. My dad was a storyteller. There was always a story, whether he was shaking Kennedy's hand a week before he was assassinated, a protest with the Black Panthers, any random civil rights movement. There was always a story. He'd tell you, your best friend, your boyfriend, your best friend's boyfriend, the clerk at the convenience store, the homeless guy down the road, the Republican councilman that he was campaigning for. That was another story. Didn't matter. Everyone was his best friend, a captive audience. I wish I'd been a more captive audience, paid more attention, a better listener. Because it's hard as hell when the stories go away. Shit. To say it's hard is an understatement. I miss you every second of every day. I want to hear you tell my cat Grandpa says hello. She cried just as hard as I did when I told her Grandpa gone, which I kept saying on repeat for months. I've not been sober since you died. I can't bear to memorialize your ashes. That would make it way too fucking real. So I continue to deny my self-destructive bullshit. One day, I will accept that you're gone. And can I do one more? Okay. Praying Mantis Hands. That's the title. He calls me his little praying mantis in the way I twist my arms into a shape of a heart and give it to him. I promise him with my praying mantis hands that I love him. I only hope that he knows, with my praying mantis hands, how much he means to me. That he is a lighthouse, a shining beacon in the storm that lies within my head. These praying mantis hands still have hope. Also, I have 3 books on Amazon. Lindsay Dilks.
She's like, I don't know.
Jay, what's the Japanese one? Kintsugi? There's one called It's Not Me, It's You. And there's another one called Survivor. And there's another one called Netsuke.
No, Netsuke.
Yeah, it's the Japanese art of putting, yeah.
That's why you gotta put that.
Yeah, putting stone or putting things together.
All right, give it up for Lindsay Dilks. Woo!
You heard it here first. 3 books online by Miss Lindsay Dilks.
And I know, I used to be a purist, the only thing I would read is pages, but I've been buying a lot of Kindle books. Oh my God. It's like, Kindle Unlimited, cool, boop. Oh my God, sale price, it's cheaper on Kindle, boop.
You know, I was kind of joking, you know, about how she couldn't remember the titles of her books, but I have on recording one time. Robert Klein was interviewing Ray Davies of the Kinks, right? And they were talking about their albums and whatnot, and he couldn't remember this one particular album. Was the title of the album was the UPC number code of the record.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so Robert Klein's interviewing him, right? And he's trying to remember it. He couldn't remember it, and then Robert Klein, just said it like it's 04627312, and he's like, "Oh, you remembered?" He goes, "No, I have it written down here." So, but yeah, it's sometimes it's kind of you forget your own. I didn't even know half the names of the songs I used to play in the band I was with for 8 years. So there you go.
This is true. All right. Lost in Thought. Who is coming out? Do we have... Wait. Quick question. Do we have anybody virtual?
Yes, we do.
I was also going to say,
He's
I
gonna
loved
sing.
Lindsay's, wonderful, intimate pieces, but her second piece did make me think of an episode of The Golden Girls.
Go ahead. We have time now.
Well, it's only because they were doing a telethon to save the lighthouse, and one of them was doing an impression of a cricket. But
But she said praying mantis, not cricket.
Yeah. Tomato.
It's a little bit of a difference there.
Yeah. But at the end of near the end of the episode, the lighthouse got destroyed, and
I think I remember that one.
yes, spoiler. And then at the very end, Blanche before they went to the telethon, Blanche came on the screen and said, "Now before we go, I just want to give one last plea. Now I am willing to take whatever you have to offer. And she says, and then one of them says, ma'am, no, we're not filming anymore. It's like, I know, I'm talking to Charlie and on camera 3. Share with me, Charlie.
Okay.
There's a couple outside walking their dog down the street.
Speaking of crickets, all right, lost in thought. Who's coming up next?
It's a nice little collie, one of those little small collies. Pretty dog.
Oh, I know. What are those called? The mini collies?
Shetland collies? No, I don't know.
No. Oh, God. Sheltie. Thank you. Thank you. It's
Hey,
a Sheltie.
I was close. Sort of.
Please, don't let him have that, please. All right, lost in thought. Who's coming up next?
Oh, I know why it's... There, now I sound better, right? I was just coming out of the monitors. Jeez, that was driving me crazy. I knew something was wrong.
Yay.
Okay, you may continue.
Okay, I'm continuing. Why are you doing that?
Because I want to. Hurry up and announce.
Okay, so coming up next, we have virtually speaking, we have Shane Miller.
Woo, Shane Miller.
Please direct your attention to the monitor behind the bar, and Shane will appear momentarily as it is on a 30-second delay. So bear with me. Take it away, Shane.
All right, can you guys hear me tonight?
Yes.
Awesome. I wanted to start off with a line from a song that hit me like a truck earlier this week. It's called Song of Myself by Nightwish. The line that hit me like a truck is, Dear child, stop working, go play, forget every rule because there's no fear in a dream. So, for my first piece tonight, I've got an older poem of mine. I think I wrote this kind of as I was beginning to experiment in fantasy and more existentialism. So this one's called Questions. I have come to question everything in the time I spend alone, wallowing in what lies remaining of broken childhood memories that I've long forgotten and tried to recreate. It's completely alien to me how I can remember all the laughter and all the tears, all the shame and all the passion, all the anger and all the excitement, but it's all a blur now. In those years I've been hurt, dragged through the ground with my face in the mud, that any time I tried to search for a rose, all I ever got was its thorn, and everything at the time seemed hopeless. So I would run away. To a land of fantasy, to an empty realm so beautiful and vibrant, so impossibly bright, that looking back it makes me feel sick to my stomach. I remember a time when I'd break into uncontrollable laughter, where life was nothing but fun and games, and I remember when I realized that it was so much more than I had ever bargained for. If I could paint a portrait of how I saw the world, it would be so abstract that many who saw it would call me mad, and who knows, maybe I am. Maybe nothing makes sense. Maybe there really is no concept of reality. And maybe I've been alone this whole time. Maybe my world is just another hallucination, and maybe, just maybe, I'm losing my mind again. Okay. The second one is one I think I've shared with you guys before, but it's been a bit more relevant this week. So this is one of my personal favorites. It's called Fairy Tales. If you are anything like me, then you've grown up being told a myriad of fairy tales, learning of heroes and monsters, of princes and perils, and it always starts with the phrase, once upon a time. But do we ever stop to think what happened before that moment? What led to the story being told in the first place, and why we revere this moment in time? Life is not about once upon a time, and we certainly don't get to see a happily ever after, because there isn't just one story. It's a growing, evolving amalgamation experiencing every day and every action. I find it fascinating how every one of us sees it differently. The same stories told time and time again reach us all in different ways. And just as we hear what we want to hear, there are two sides to everything, and I, for one, find myself drawn to the nominal villains and appointed evildoers since I can see where they're coming from. Maybe I'm reading into it too much. After all, I'm only a man, and a miserable one at that. But disregard not this madman's rambling, for a wise man can learn much from a fool. In my experience, there never was a once upon a time, nor will there ever be a happily ever after. Life happened long before the beginning of the tale, and it will continue long after. I'm not saying fables are a bad thing, for even the most far-reaching fantasies possess within their pages a small element of truth to be told, a cautionary tale and a lesson learned. I never liked the endings in fairy tales, because they wrap up too easily in a nice little bow. Instead of saying they lived happily ever after, I prefer a more honest approach, that which is a bit more realistic. And then, in the end, they lived. Alright. Got one more for you, and this one's brand new. It's called He Blocks My Way. My most recent journey began in a manner that is unusual for me. My travels often take the place of dreams, whether they be while I lie motionless at night, or if my mind simply wanders off in my waking hours. Today's tale came to me in a different way. My mind began to ebb and sway, drifting ever slowly from this place, while I was still well and awake, preoccupied by gazing upon my own reflection. As I stared down another version of myself, I couldn't help but question why I could not with him change places, living my life in a mirror all the while he took on my own burdens and makes them his own while I am free to roam his realms. I reached out to him to make the deal. A simple shake of hands and the contract sealed as his reality became mine and mine his. But he seemed to hesitate at the last second, and instead of agreeing to the terms, he stood in my way. I asked him with bated breath why he refused to let me through as had been understood, and he just stared at me ever silently, with weary eyes glossed over, and I realized then why no light shone through them. If his world was truly a reflection of my own, then an exchange would only serve to put us each in the same circumstance. We were trying so desperately to run from in that moment we both knew that retreating from our troubles simply wouldn't do. There was no healing to be had in his home world, as mine offered none to ease his own wounds. After all, two planes identical in their perception would both be as impassable as each their other, and a meeting of those in known positions was fruitless. So we wept, if only for a moment, and then his gaze met mine, and we saw clearly, because we both understood that this was no means of breaking free. Breaking down this barricade between would be needless, as he and I were one and the same. Still, I wished for my reflection to change into something more suitable to my tastes. Perhaps an old sorcerer with a familiar face, or a futuristic explorer from the deepest space, but I am still bound in the realm of the mundane. At least I know I'm no longer alone, because just as I am trapped in this place, so too is he unable to escape his. We weren't looking in the mirror, we were seeing our prison for what it is. Still, I am ever grateful that my mind is free to wander infinity as it does, that in my own way I can be anywhere and anything I want, and though I can think of only one way to finally leave forever, I'm glad I cannot bring myself to pull the trigger. And so once more I'll depart from here with intent to return and tell the stories of other versions of myself, of other cultures that don't exist outside of a broken mind. I will always be an explorer, a storyteller at heart, because I don't have the heart to completely abandon this place yet. All right, that's all I've got for you guys. Thank you so much.
Woo!
Let's hear it for Mr. Shane Miller.
Shane Miller! Hell yeah! Love to have you on here every week.
Yes.
Alrighty, and don't forget about the drink specials. Mixed Wells $4.25. Get your antioxidants and your booze at the same time.
Yeah, he was joining us all the way from the great state of Kansas.
That's right.
Man, Kansas.
Not the band, the state, the don't-don'ts. Anyway, I know that was bad.
Thanks to that pesky internet.
Pesky. All right, lost in thought. Who's coming up next?
It's someone that's very new.
New voice.
Yes. First time here on this stage as he's ordering his drink.
Oh,
Actually following directions because he's, ordering stuff. He's buying stuff.
Yes.
What a
buy,
way
purchase,
to-
consume,
He
enjoy.
probably didn't plan it that way, but he is. What a great way to advertise. But let's hear it for new voice. Hold on.
You're taking too long.
Okay, I have the name. I just want to double sure it was right, and it is. Give it up for Mr. Andrew Hack.
I'm from the same town as you. You should know my name.
I know, right? You guys probably like neighbors.
Arondakoi? Greece? Are you from the dirty Greece? Chile?
Actually, no, it's actually Rochester/Bedfield.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right, good to be here. My name's Andrew. I'm 26. I'm from Rochester, New York, and I needed my parents to sign a permission to slip to be here tonight. You always hear that, your body is a temple, especially when you're an athlete, you get that, super aggro CrossFit dude. Oh, your body's a temple, bro. Like, you put in the good, you get out the good, right? Well, I consider my body more like a mosque. It's built about 30 years ago and needs a lot of improvements. The U.S. government is always after it because it doesn't pay taxes. And dozens of brown women have entered and exited the rear entrance. It's like, what? He likes anal specifically with Middle Eastern women? It's so weird. Super specific. I'm glad I got a couple laughs out of it because it's either 100% hit or just a total miss, so thank you. Moving to Austin, I moved here 3 years ago. I was driving down through the great state of Arkansas, shockingly more exciting than you would imagine. I stopped in Little Rock to do a run around the river, but I parked by this beautiful new building that turned out to be the Bill Clinton Presidential Memorial Library, which is silly to me because why would they name a library after a guy who can't read a book? So I go in, and there's like a little cafe, and you walk through the catacombs. And they have all these actual pieces of history, which I thought was cool because I was a history major. But then also just I'm Bill Clinton, and this is really cool, and ego documents. I really thought that I made this decision, and I like to play the saxophone, that kind of shit, So my favorite part, after I scoured the catacombs of this Presidential Memorial Library, I come across the big banner at the back, and it says, "I did not have textual relations with these books." And that's the best joke I've ever written. Something a little more local for y'all. This is just straight up not a joke. This definitely is real and definitely happened. I go to the Gold Gyms downtown with my best friend, and afterwards we walk across the river to the Barton Springs Juice Land to get our gentrification and juice, to get good protein, to refuel after lifting some fat stacks, as the kids call it. So we walk in, packed, right? It's like maybe a 10 by 20 room, and there's some sad kid behind the counter getting abused as a worker in America, and it's probably 12 people in here, so it's almost like shoulder to shoulder, probably this place on like a busy night. The first two people that we see when we walk in are both shirtless and shoeless in a restaurant. Like back in my day, you would never ever be allowed no shirt, no shoes, no service like that. I thought that was like across the board, and I know the Springs are right there, so they probably get a lot of swimsuit folks in, but it just blew my mind. And so I turned to my friend, check these guys out. Not only were they shirtless and shoeless, but it was two just granola douchebags, and one was aggressively massaging the other man's pec. Just go, oh yeah, you really gotta like activate the muscle here, bro. It's saying those things in a sense, and it was absurd. It was just silly. And so that was the tip of the iceberg. Then I turn around because I was raised with proper American values. Wear a shirt when you go into a restaurant, especially shoes. So I turn to look at the door because they have directions before you enter a restaurant. Like, wear a shirt and don't bring a gun in, right? There's also a sign that said, no dogs. And so I turn, see the sign, turn back. There are 2 dogs in the juice land. Just hanging out. One's a big dog sitting on the ground. The other is a little like, weenie dog, right? Dude at the counter is holding it. Turn to my friend, I go, get a little in. 2 dogs in a restaurant. Sign on the door says no dogs. 10 seconds passes. 10 seconds goes by. The man at the counter takes the dog, puts it on the ground. The dog walks to the center of the juice land and takes the most foul shit I've ever seen in my just black liquid, just on the floor of the Barton Springs juice land. And this is not a hit piece. I'm not trying to like sink this business. Although it seems like every year, they unionize, they're taking advantage of us, give us $17 instead of $2 hourly, please. We're humans. So everyone is shocked. Everyone is staring at this little tiny dog shitting on the floor, and no one says anything except for me, because I've realized I'm in a movie now. And so I say, sir, your dog is shitting on the floor. The man turns around. Dad turns around. His face does not change. Turns around. Oh. Goes, scoops the dog up, and still waits for his order for a couple seconds. He's like talking to the cashier guy. Then he takes all of the napkins in the holder, and he just goes and just kind of sweeps it up and throws it away inside the juice land, because you panic and you're just like, no, this is fine. So the smell of dog shit in the juice land did not go away. If anything, it just got spread out and got worse. And then it took 45 minutes for us to get our smoothies. So that was a bad day for me. And that is the last one, totally true. So I'm not a stand-up comic, by the way, but that is a story I like to tell. So thank you for listening.
Let's hear it for Andrew Hack. I was going to say, when he was talking about those 2, Andrew, when you were talking about those 2 shirtless men, one massaging the other's peck, and I was like, I've seen movies like that. Usually I'm home alone and I'm doing something with myself, but...
Ew.
Yes!
We actually have one regular that always comes. I work at Walgreens. He comes in with corduroy shorts that are so old the cords are worn away, which is pretty gross. And he's got these big, bare Flintstone feet.
Wow.
And it's like, I'm just like, whatever. He spends a lot of money here.
You know how like on Facebook people will like women, like if they're at the beach or something, they take a picture of like their feet and with the ocean in the background, like look at me, and it's nice, Well, I have a friend, speaking of Flintstone feet.
His friend is my cousin.
Yeah, and he would do the same thing, but he has those big old Flintstone toes, and it was just like, oh, and I'd be scrolling, and then his big Flintstone feet would pop up on the screen, like, ah. I told him like 3 times, dude, stop posting pictures of your feet.
Of your ugly ass feet. And I'm going to tell him that because he's my cousin.
Yeah, well, I think he finally stopped posting those. But man.
Gross. I mean, let's just say it looked like a box with toes.
Yeah.
It was just, ugh.
Flintstone feet reminds me, I just have to say it.
Golden Girls.
No.
Oh.
10 million strong and growing.
Oh, fuck, dude. Okay. Okay, you want to lose what little audience we got? Okay, quit referencing Flintstones vitamins commercials, and which is seriously sucky because I actually knew what he was talking about. All right, lost of thought. Who's coming up next?
We're going back to virtual land.
Who is it?
Well, get ready to get out the vote. Mr. President is coming up next. Let's hear it for Reggie Goodwin.
Goodwin 2024.
Please direct your attention to the monitors behind the bar. And Reggie Goodwin will show up momentarily as it is on a 30-second delay. Take it away, Reggie.
Trevor Noah, the host of Comedy Central, who helmed the show after Jon Stewart's brilliance, he has sadly also announced his retirement and desire for life, love, and other projects. In his freestyle framework, Between the Scenes, he opined about the angst of the human species on sharing power and resources equitably. Quote, watching the story of Rishi Sunak, the first prime minister of color of Indian descent, and then seeing the backlash is one of the more telling things about how people view their role in history. And what I mean by that is this. You hear a lot of people saying, oh, they're taking over. Indians are going to take over Great Britain. And what's next? And I find myself asking the question, so what? So what? What are you afraid of? There are a lot of things to criticize Rishi Sunak about. The richest member of Parliament, a net worth of £800 million, a former trader with Goldman Sachs, wealth made by dwindling the United Kingdom's middle class with austerity measures that will likely gut the national health system into non-existence, exacerbating inequality, poverty, climate change, and human continuance. There's a lot to criticize Rishi Sunak about. However, any concerns or contemplations about his complexion are irrelevant. The Hindu belief that says the people are classified into 4 castes, and these castes define what jobs they can do, duties and privileges they have. These 4 castes are the Brahmins, the priests, the teachers, the Kshatriyas, the rulers and warriors, the Vaishyas, the landowners, merchants, and the Sudras, servants. And the 5th group is the group of the untouchables called Dalits. Dalit caste communities that were forced by caste apartheid into slave and bonded agriculture labor and undignified sanitation work like manual scavenging, branded untouchables for jobs considered spiritually polluting. They struggle against extreme violence and discrimination. Great Britain and the United States of America set up a caste system of white supremacy similar to fascist Germany and Italy. The ziggurat base is populated by Dalits, Gypsies, Hispanics, Jews, immigrants, indigenous people, LGBT, and African diaspora, a pseudoscience based on taxonomy, placing themselves at the social construct's apogee, then tortured the people put under their thumbs and boots for centuries. From Benito Mussolini, Bull Connor, Bill Wallace, Adolf Hitler, Richard Nixon, Ronald Reagan, Rush Limbaugh, Rupert Murdoch, David Duke, Tucker Carlson, Richard Spencer, Donald Trump, and Vladimir Putin, the refrain is the same. We can't let those people get political power. So what? What are you afraid of? You repeat the same refrain. We can't let those others lead. So what? No wonder you're heavily invested in book banning. Orwell's Ministry of Truth consistently rewrites history and facts. What before and now is embarrassing to you and your fragility because it doesn't fit the self-delusional narrative. The first platonic noble lie is American exceptionalism. The big dumb lie is someone suffering from anosognosia who can't admit that he lost an election. A word, by the way, of Greek origin roughly translates to without knowledge of the disease. You may also hear it called lack of insight. What it boils down to is that the person is unaware of their condition and unable to accept it. Using the same illogic barring enslaved people from reading, slaves, be obedient to your masters, the only thing you bothered teaching my ancestors, but not that persnickety vignette from a brown-skinned Palestinian prophet about setting the captives free. That one you conveniently omitted it. So what? Are you afraid that if given power, the formerly oppressed groups will be as sick as their sadistic former masters? Your example is former apartheid South Africa, where the former oppressed people pursued a Truth and Reconciliation Commission so that they could function as one country in the spirit of forgiveness. It sounds like it was really dark and threatening. For 8 years, the NRA claimed President Obama was confiscating everyone's firearms. Simultaneously, they made more profits than with their Manchurian candidate, Orange Satan. They lost money while he was supposed to be making America great again. We lost 1 million citizens during the pandemic. How is that anything but a con and sadistic? Look, it's not in our nature to be sadistic or vindictive. All we, women, Hispanics, the LGBT, immigrants, and indigenous people want to do is live as full citizens in peace. That's what you want in multicultural, multi-ethnic democracies. We've heard Paul Pelosi was attacked by Antifa, that the Pelosi staged it, or he had it coming. This illogic isn't cogent, coherent, or realistic. This crap is the gaslighting of fascism. As Trevor observed, you're kind of giving away the game by saying the quiet part out loud. Maybe instead of vindictiveness, you're afraid that the people you've tormented will show more empathy, Christian charity, and family values than you've ever exhibited. So what? As Professor Emeritus Noam Chomsky observed in The Real Politic of Nation States, do you fear that indigenous people are better equipped to manage the environment? Do you fear that gay and lesbian parents might be better than our cisgender archetypes? Do you fear that blacks or Hispanics aren't all drug traffickers or rapists? Do you fear the witness of reality and facts will defeat your stereotypes? Do you fear the threat of a good example that makes your claims of righteousness and innate superiority impotent? So what other than facts are you actually afraid of?
All right, give it up for Goodwin 2024, Reggie Goodwin! Hashtag that all over social media.
Yes.
Yeah, I was
Mr. Goodwin.
kind of working on something here because Clint was telling me the speakers outside weren't on.
Oh, yeah.
And I just realized that the Skype calls aren't being filtered or being sent to the speakers outside.
Oh, that's lovely.
Okay.
Oh, no.
It's a complex routing system I have to send all the audio to and from back and forth and here and there, and I'll work on it. Like right now, we're talking on the actual microphones. That's coming out through the speakers right now.
Okay.
But the Skype calls aren't.
Hey, you across the street at Panda Express.
Well, because what happens is if I send those, I'm trying to think this out loud here. If I send those to the speakers, they'll oscillate and it'll send it back into itself.
And then it'll be like that Steve Dahl show
It'll
where it
start-
sounded
it-
like an acid trip.
Yeah, it'll
Okay.
start echoing over and over, and I'll have a feedback loop. I think that's why it's like that. I just can't really think right now. Yeah, we'll get sucked into a black hole.
Okay, just to let you know, coming up next, Clint inspired me. So
Oh, by the way, that was all the way from
North Carolina,
North Carolina,
Greensboro.
Greensboro. See,
Greensboro.
I had that on my. I was going to say that, but you spit it out before I could. As usual.
You have
Every
so
time I'm going to tell a story or something, you always jump the gun.
Ernie B, you have so much more things on your mind. I just thought I'd lend you a hand.
Well, I was coming. I was getting there, and we are kind of stalling for time here since we're thin, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm just stalling for time because we got like what another.
I was also going to say, let's hear it for the Sorceress's costume.
Oh,
Yes.
I almost said thank you. I was like, wait, that's not me.
No.
That's Crystal.
I thought you were talking about Reggie. Like what? He's not wearing.
Oh,
He's not wearing a costume.
Reggie's
No.
not dressed yet.
a barista's costume, Miss Crystal.
Way to go, Crystal. Okay, Lost in Thought. Who's coming up next?
Well, who is coming up next? It's a pretty hot topic.
Okay, Ernie B, just letting you know I'm already plugged.
Oh.
So coming up next, let's hear it for Hot Tamale.
Okay, like I said, Clint inspired me, but I'm going to turn it up a little bit. Ernie, it's playing. Oh, shit.
No, it's not.
Well, my baby, she don't want me around. She says she's tired of watching me fall down. She wants the good life, oh, only the best. But I like that bottle better than the rest. And she said, I think that you're headed for a whole lot of trouble. Well, I think that you're headed for a whole lot of trouble. Well, I think that you're headed for a whole lot of trouble if you take your whiskey. Ow! Well, that liquor in the nighttime leaves strange memories. Seems a lifetime, ooh, since yesterday. Come the daybreak, yeah, come tomorrow. That woman's waited up all night for me again. Well, I think that you're headed for a whole lot of trouble. Yeah, I think that you're headed for a whole lot of trouble. Hey, yeah, I know that you're headed for a lot of trouble if you take your whiskey home. Some goes to women, some goes to Jesus. Though I'm absolutely certain both's alright. But it takes me at least halfway to the label before I can even make it through the night. Well, I think that you're headed for a whole lot of trouble. Yeah, yeah, I think that you're headed for a whole lot of trouble. Baby, yeah, I think that you're headed for a lot of trouble if you take your whiskey home. Bridge. Thank you. Oh wait, shoot, no. Okay, Ernie, I'm gonna unplug.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, hot tamale.
Thank you. Thank you. Like I said, Clint inspired me. At first, I was gonna just do some of my old poems, and I was like, fuck that, I'm gonna do some Van Halen. I can't move around a lot, but yeah.
You know, there was a lot of reverb on your voice.
I
And I was about to
noticed.
turn it down a little bit, but I go, wait a minute, this is the early Van Halen stuff. It was all reverb. You know?
So
NBR, nothing but reverb.
So Rayla said she loves it when you sing.
Oh shoot, did she see it?
Yes, and she also said that she can see where your daughter gets her talent.
Oh shit. Thank you, Rayla. Or no. See, this is where I got my ham gene from, is my mom. Okay? Yes, she is old school, you know. Puro familia, raised in the Catholic Church. But this woman would get dressed up for like church socials and stuff as a clown.
What?
Yes, I need to find one of those pictures.
You never told me that.
She would like put on the nose, the big orange wig, the big puffy costume, and she would do balloons and everything for the kids.
I had no idea. You never told me that.
Well, I was like.
I thought you were going to say she got dressed up for church, which people do.
No.
You know, they dress
has,
nice.
She has dressed up as a clown for like parties and stuff.
Ooh.
I did not know that.
It's a trip, and she could throw a mean fastball too.
I've known some professional clowns in my day.
No, she was really good. I mean, honestly, she was like, "You were never embarrassed of me." I was like, "None of my other friends' moms dressed as clowns. You're badass." So yeah, she is definitely where I got the ham gene from. My dad would be sitting out at a dance, and my mom would be like, "Come on, let's do this." So yeah, I got it from my mom, and my daughter got it from me. Oh dear God, she just finished up her musical from "You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown." She was Lucy.
Yes.
Oh my God, and Lost in Thought saw it.
Lost me and Rayla.
Yes, Lost in Thought and Rayla were there. They were my dates for Friday. Thank you. And
Why did Rayla have to leave?
she said she was feeling pretty tired.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
understandable.
Well, I'm pretty tired too, and I'm here. Damn it! No,
Okay,
I'm just
wait,
kidding.
Ernie B, mic up the table. I want to hear what they're talking about.
I don't know. Hey, what are you guys talking about?
What are you guys talking about?
Oh.
And
Word you said about your mom.
no, they didn't. Pop quiz, Andrew. What did my mom used to do when I was little?
See, they were.
Andrew, go put your fucking nose in the corner. All right? Okay.
Good shit. I'm going to open this with, there's this poet I've been reading a little bit, Rainer Rilke. This one's called, he's good. This is a really good, I've been going through like this transformation. I like the last time I read that, just like changing all the time and like going one way and then another and then like down, up. And it's like, hopefully it's ending upwards. This one's called In Celebration of Me. It's not so much about this is kind of an ironic poem, though.
Irony away. You're in the right spot.
I am so afraid of people's words. They describe so distinctly everything. And this they call dog, and that they call house. Here the start, and there the end. I worry about their mockery with words. They know everything, what will be, what was. No mountain is still miraculous. And their house and yard lead right up to God. I want to warn and object. Let the things be. I enjoy listening to the sound they are making, but you always touch and they hush and stand still. That's how you kill. Okay, so this one's called Decries. I carry a lantern day by day, I'm searching. Honesty amidst piety I find lacking. Rocks hit bottom, I thank them for their authenticity. Oh, how the false lover pretends to fly. I yearn to shake this sleazy sly. Pledge allegiance to the despot, for only gods like this love the brokenhearted. Rather, I see one of wholehearted indifference, whose power is the earthquake, like to itch the ass he forgot he had. At least in this I know where I stand. What is the power of the word? Like so many other shifting images, ever changing to suit whoever's whim, like a sword from the mouth ever at one's throat. Will you choose life? All right, thank you.
Encore.
All right, so I've got, I wrote this a while ago. I like to describe scenes of nature, and this is about a sunset. It's called Light's Children. Oh, infinite number of colors, from day to night you spread. Fixed ends between variation plays, what a gift to this apprehend. The sun so sets in majesty bold, from blue to gold lights children behold. High above, the sky's angels lay prone, suspended yet bellowed, seemingly still, for wind within them constantly blows, across distances no man can know. Upon them slow fading beams recline, long painting in far angles wide. All this my eyes in words and verse attempts amiss to forever preserve. For by these aloft the image extends, a fresh canvas that faraway sun appends. Half day, half night, the cycle they show, bright gold to fading fire, to darkness slow. Alas, fair sun, this earth's turn makes you go, but darkness not conquered, for night still glows. The moonshine in your absence grows, and faraway stars, the dark is made bright anew. And by these two, the light, the night still knows. Thank you. All right, and then so I just went backpacking out in the backcountry and spent some time stargazing, and this is the poem that came out of that. We forget about the multitudes. Beyond count we hardly know them, while once upon a time we thrived by them. Have you ever noticed the difference between the pitch dark of the deep and the twilight of the darkest night? Hardly a comparison is able, but wait, imagine a semicircle. Now spin it about its axis, make it in your mind a sphere about the size of the heart, and let it grow with each beat, larger and larger, to account for all your days. Now look, it wraps this orb we call home, and it is a great lens that brightens the night. For contrary to all belief, that vast empty, that great nothingness, the void of space, it is incredibly bright. And all about, from the greatest reaches of infinity, this sphere that begins in you makes these stars to dance. For all matter, all energy is but one, and we are made of stardust. So listen now and hear, if you have ears to hear. In the stargazer, God looks upon God, and all is one. Yep, thank you.
That's me on the trombone.
All right, give it up for Dane.
I'll just say this: I got a very good shot of Dane, and I was showing Hot Tamale the angle that I got you from.
Yeah, and I basically had to smack him down for like, dude, you came up behind Dane.
Oh, he walked on the stage?
I'm over there. I'm not behind Dane going. Well, no, actually, I'm veilless right now, so, you know. But
He walked on the stage?
He walked on stage while Dane was talking.
Because I didn't see, because I was looking at the Skype calls over here on the screen because Jonathan's trying to connect. So I missed that. But
okay. He was trying to show me a picture. I was like, dude, not now. Yeah, but look, dude.
He was showing you the picture while Dane was reading?
Yes.
Dane? That could wait. I thought he was trying to take a picture of Dane.
Well, he does down there.
No, but on the stage. But regardless, he was reading.
Again. Mm-hmm. Lost in thought. Okay, so coming up next, I know you already told me. Sheesh. Like I need to be told twice. Ernie.
I don't know. I'm
I know he's like literally like shoving things in your face like
distracting me.
Like a DoorDasher at a Walgreens.
Yeah.
That does happen. People just walk up to me and just shove the phone in my face. I'm like, what?
You know what I used to hate when I worked at this music store. We were really close to the border down in South Texas. When I'd ring up their whatever they were buying, okay, that'll be $37.92 or whatever, and they would just hand me their checkbook and a pen, like, here, you fill it out. It's like, no, that's what you're supposed to do. They literally want me to fill out the entire check, like write everything. It's like,
that's when you put $3,750 and go, fuck it, thank you. All right,
I
so
hated that.
Coming up next, I tried to write out an intro for him, but I'm not. He's good at the spontaneous, off the cuff intros, so I'm gonna go ahead and try that. This next poet arose from the ashes of the town that he is from, and he has actually made a name for himself in this crazy little tiny big town of Austin, and he is a well-known figure in the poetic community, because when people are like, who's that guy that always doesn't know what he's talking about? Oh, yeah, I know that guy. Give it up for Lost in Thought!
And then the music's real mellow.
No, I needed to have some Arsenio type shit going on.
Well, Pablo did that last night from Warm Suicide. He told the crowd, okay, after this next song, instead of clapping, I want y'all to go, ooh, 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 ooh. And they did. It was hilarious.
But I have new shit.
New shit.
Family. It can be a funny word. Its definition doesn't solely depend on blood assigned to you at birth. Those that have the same DNA collected and shape a scientifically accurate portrayal of similarities may just be reduced to the science it's based on. This floated through my head, kind of like how dust particles are caught in that moment where they flicker like diamonds when framed in a ray of sunshine, whispered between a quietly content morning household. As the stage lights opened up, as an eye awakens from a dream, the cardboard trees and projected image on the screen, and imitating seating, framed in rows of a smaller theater which existed unto its own reality, breathing life far beyond the walls that contained it. I thought this as I was sitting with two very important people in my life, and we captured moments, perfect snippets of life that one would think had abandoned us. After this play that settled into me as a daydream, finding its path to a moon caught between the equator and the sun, juggling clouds as marbled lure, selling secrets to the sky, it was odd. I felt wanted, needed, but at the same time I had to question, where am I in my life right now? Right now, I'm not sure of anything, like a lot of people. Part of me was elated and charmed, but there were also shadows haunting footsteps drowning upside down in the reflected ghosts of a shined hallway that I could hear echoes of not necessarily my past, but this lush forest of dark, this labyrinth maze that branched forward into what all of these tomorrows seemed to spell, and the uncertainty built on the only reliance of my past foolishly defining my future. Because, well, while the past may be a good way to consolidate your mentality and decisions you can react to differently the next time that it comes time for them to be made, but it shouldn't be used to say, yep, this is exactly how my life is going to be. My mom is in the hospital right now with COVID. I haven't taken the effort to look into what I need to ensure her future, how she will live while I'm still here in Austin, which I need to be for my own sanity. But there's only a week left before I take my leave to visit and see where things are, yet I haven't mapped it out. So, am I really that good of a son? There's still that guy at work that has tried his best to reach out to me and pay me the respect deserved of a fellow coworker. And all I can do in return is express my eyes further into maddening territories while endangering the enclosure of my pupils in the damaging hostage situation of this please like me vibe. And just like that, the bridge she extended, I took flamethrowers to and scorched the earth. So, am I really worthy enough for him to even know? A month ago, my job pushed me to the brink, giving me tasks to the point where my days had no choice to inflate well beyond my assigned time. I had to stay later and later without reporting the proper time for fear they may look down at me like a scolding parent and say, "You can't handle this, can you?" And at that point, I should have saved. I should have started looking. I should have been doing this by now. Because I'm getting the distinct feeling that I'm being iced out. That important meetings that I should be a part of, projects where I should play a part in, suddenly is being done by everyone else as they condense these walls closer while illustrating the writing even more clear. Why do we need you? So, would I deserve it if I were to suddenly end up jobless with real threat of homelessness? Sure, everyone is kind of worried about these days, but would I be asking for it? So, I've got my mother, who I haven't done anything for yet other than calling her every day. I've got this coworker who I've pushed away by this desperate pleading I should have known by now doesn't work. And I've got a job that I could lose at any moment with no safety net. And in the far back of my mind, I had this thought, would it be better if I just... But then came the play. And not only do I look to others, but there are other people here. Other people that depend on me to be here. Chosen family that would be really selfish for me to leave behind. But at the same time, I felt as bright and as centered and as important as those stage lights. So I want to give myself a year. I'm not saying that after this year is over, I'm going to do anything drastic, but what I am saying is that I want to give myself a year to map and to plan, even though I feel like I'm at the edge of the cliff and there's not that much room left to stand on. I still believe that there is still time. What will happen if I'm not where I need to be at the end of this year? Well, there's too many days I want to look forward to, too many sunsets I want to see. Too many people I want to be there for. So at the end of that year, I will simply reassess and try something different. That's it. But I'm saying I'm giving myself a year because this is an investment in myself. A very important property with a lot of value. And you know, if this were some kind of feel-good movie with a lot of tears and a lot of joy, you know the kind. The one that puts you through the ringer, but you're so happy you still saw. Well, I imagine the tagline would be something like, just because you've given up on life doesn't mean that life has given up on you.
All right, give it up for Lost in Thought. Hey, Ernie B, give him some tag music.
Well, I didn't play any for him when he started.
Oh.
Oh,
So I didn't play any.
Dun dun dun. Give it up for Lost in Thought. Woo! Yeah, Lost in Thought was telling me about that piece before we got here. He was like, because I'm always telling him he's got these Inagata Devita pieces that will go on for 17 minutes, and you could actually smoke a joint and get sober, even before the poem ends.
What?
Exactly. So, but see, he was like, well, this one's kind of Inagata Devita. I said, it's okay. It's okay. It's a 3 to 6 crowd. You'll be able to. That's why I was able to sing. Wah, wah. Okay, Lost in Thought. Who's coming up next?
Ooh. Okay, so.
Oh, we forgot to say if anybody wants to come up again.
Yes, we do have the time.
And Jonathan joined the chat.
Oh, Jonathan. So looks like we'll be starting over.
Yeah, he said he was having problems joining the group, but I see I see him there.
You see his blue background?
Well, no, because the call is muted, but it's he's connected.
Do you see the blue background?
No, it's because the call is muted. When the call goes mute, it's just
I thought it
an
was
icon.
sound. Got it. Okay.
So I don't know if he's actually really there or not. Jonathan, can you hear me?
Okay, real quick before we go on to the next person, I wanted to ask the crowd. Growing up, you get home remedies from your parents, grandparents, friends. They'll say, Oh, here's a tried and true remedy for. Bleh. Here's a tried and true for this. What is your tried and true hangover remedy?
Sleep.
No, Clint. Another beer doesn't count.
And the beer I had for breakfast.
Actually, yes.
It
yes.
does. Remember that?
It's called Hair of the Dog.
The Johnny Cash line. And the beer I had for breakfast wasn't bad, so I had one more for dessert.
There you go. Okay, Dane, do you have any tried and true? Lime juice, salt, and water. So basically a DIY Gatorade.
There was this thing they used to sell at the convenience stores. I don't know if it's still around. I forgot what it's called, but you're supposed to take it before you start drinking, and it keeps you from getting a hangover.
Those were actually kind of coming around in the 90s. I
Yeah.
tried a couple. They didn't work.
They
for
didn't work.
me.
Maybe that's why they're not around. I never tried one, so.
Of course, this is the same chick who, as soon as I got legal, moved away from home, and got my own place. I got a big bottle of Cuervo and proceeded to finish half of it. So to this day, I can't even smell Cuervo without going. And that was like, I know exactly it's not a good tequila, but I was like 21. I didn't know shit.
Oh, goodness.
I just thought, tequila, Jose Cuervo. Okay.
Yeah, and everyone calls
Yeah.
MD 2020
Mad Dog.
Mad Dog. It's not Mad Dog.
It's Mogan David.
Yeah, it's something
But
else.
everyone calls it Mad Dog because,
get mad.
well, you turn into a mad dog. Haha. Okay.
I was thinking.
Andrew, do you wait, real quick?
Go ahead. Sorry.
Do you have a tried and true hangover remedy? Oh, that's good too. That's good too. Andrew Horniman said his tried and true is that don't drink. That's good. That's good. I really don't anymore either. You can ask Ernie B. I've had like 3/4 of a 6-pack still in the fridge. I haven't touched it in months. I thought you were a potaholic. Oh, okay, cool. Greasy fries.
Greasy.
Greasy food and Tylenol.
You ever like have to go to work the next day and you're sweating it and you start drinking lots of water and then you drink too much water?
And it makes you queasy.
Well, it doesn't make you queasy. You just get all bloated and you just feel like it makes you feel worse, but you keep wanting more water. And we had a drinking fountain in our hallway, and so I would always stop and get another sip of water, and the next thing you know, I'm like, oh,
Well,
but then I still want more water.
Better water than the red Gatorade bleh, later. Yeah, that's gross.
Well, yeah, yeah, you're supposed to drink water. Yeah, well, see, you're supposed to drink water before you start drinking. If you drink a couple of glasses of water before it, that helps with the headache in the morning too. You don't wake up all dehydrated.
Aha.
Mm-hmm. And I've been doing that actually lately because I always put up there where those tubs are by the door. When we have shows, they usually put big old things of water there, and I have. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm balancing on my good knee.
Oh. And I always take down a couple of cups of water, and I don't wait. I mean, I might wake up a little raw and tired, but I don't have a headache.
Hey, you come home a little goofy, but that's another story.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
We don't get out of here till like 4 a.m.
Okay, laws of the. Okay, see, I love getting like little ideas like this. Kind of like that one Sunday that I was saying, like your most embarrassing moment. I like hearing stuff like that. This is good stuff.
Yeah. Now I don't have Jonathan, and I just asked him if he wanted me to try and call him, but he's not replying.
Jonathan.
So he's not replying.
Oh, Jonathan.
He's not replying, so I'm assuming he's not there.
Can you hear I'm calling to you over the wire?
Did you hear what I just said? No, because
Nope.
you were talking over me like you always do.
Okay.
I said he's not there now. Remember I said he was connected earlier?
Oh, I heard that part.
Yeah, but now he's not there now.
Okay.
And I messaged him, do you want me to try and call? But he hasn't replied, which makes me think he's not on his computer now.
Okay. Get out of my chair, boy.
Well, I wanted to make sure you guys heard that so you don't try to call him up and he's not even there.
Only my ass keeps that warm. Okay, lost of thought. Who's coming up next?
I thought you were going to ask me about the question that.
The what?
I thought I was going to answer that question too.
You have a hangover remedy? Get out.
Well,
you don't strike me as somebody.
I
who-
usually don't. I usually don't have. But it's a
Okay,
rare. It's
so
on
what's
rare occasion.
yours?
But it makes well. First up, before I answer that question, it did make me think of something else that I'd heard. where like a coworker once told me, where this one guy, I guess he was on X, and then the pill ecstasy.
Okay.
Yeah. So he came into work the next day and he thought he was all good, right? And he sat down and he started typing and I was like, hey, this keyboard feels kind of nice. And then he goes to his boss and goes like this. I have to go in sick. I have to go home. And then like tries to cover his eyes. Yeah.
What the hell are you talking about?
I don't know.
I have no idea. I'm complete.
I thought we were talking about hangover remedies.
But
It was supposed to be.
But I do have
about
a
his coworker on ecstasy.
But I do have a hangover remedy for myself,
Tell it.
which is the same thing I do when I'm sober. Now, there's a lot of dishes to be done.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
God.
Yes, I will
Dude,
probably do
please
that.
call up the next person. God. Nobody needs to know that.
Why would you even want to, if you're hungover, why would you even think about doing that? It's like you feel like shit. Why would you want to? No.
No. That's why he's lost in thought, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, go ahead. I'm just picturing it like a monkey in a zoo. Okay, hurry up. Call the next person.
Well, I can't think of any better person to comment on this than the next person coming up. Let's hear it for Mr. Andrew Horniman.
Andrew Horniman.
Here's Andrew Horniman with your Action Sports.
Okay, first of all, I totally get it. Why you would do dishes hungover. I've been there. Look, because you wake up with a big headache and you're like, fuck my life. Why did I drink so much? Oh, yeah, Derek, he was pretty hot. Oh, and then I tried buying him a drink. I bought myself a drink. Then he kind of gave me, then he didn't really talk to me. And then he kind of had a nice ass, so, oh my God. And then gave me a kind of a look. And then I'm like, oh, okay. And then, oh, fuck. Then, oh, I'm not feeling productive. Oh, this headache hurts, but I have an erection. Fuck it. This is the most productive thing that I'll do all day. Do I have that right? Yes. Okay. Cool. Thank you. That ends scene. That was a little bit of improv. Hello. You didn't know what you were walking into. You're just ordering coffee, aren't you? No. I'm sorry for attacking you. You seem like wonderful. It's fine. I'm doing stand up. Look, there's like 6 people here. You just upped the population like 11%. I am just doing what we would call crowd work. When I don't want to do material, I just talk to women. I don't know what it is. I don't know, like, it is friendly, mostly alcoholics, but it's the middle of the day. Okay, so hi, anybody who's walking, you could have just sneezed and I would have just done that. Okay, I will take the spotlight and then move it on me. Okay, that was thank you. That was what is that called? That's I can't speak. I'm so exhausted right now. I have a job. I loved being unemployed. I love it. I eat better now that I have a job, but I will sacrifice that for sleep. Okay, now we're getting into the material. Okay, so Halloween scares me because am I the only, there are people behind there? What?
Yeah, they're up in the booth.
They're in the VIP room. I had no idea there were people there. I guess there was 10 people and I had no idea. Bizarre. Okay, focus. I'm not, focus. Okay. Halloween, this is not gonna go. Am I the only person that thinks that, like, Halloween is just we're doing rituals that we have no idea that will happen, like accidental rituals? that like if you really look at the content of any Halloween movie, let's look at Hocus Pocus. Hocus Pocus is just talking about child rape. It's these women who want to sacrifice a virgin so they can be young. And they prey on young kids. They're going to kill and rape them, but it's okay because they're charismatic women. The movie would be rated R if they were demons. Like, I don't know. Okay, didn't work well. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to be sacrificed by Bette Midler, but that is very niche. Very niche. Though Hocus Pocus 2 is trash, I'm very specifically canceling my Disney Plus. I'm not even drinking. Okay, so I was in a board game family because we weren't good about expressing our emotions. So we would just express it in rage. And to this day, every time me and my sister, we would play Settlers of Catan, if we don't emotionally abuse each other while playing Settlers, we're not playing it correctly. Something is wrong and we're detached. I want a realistic board game, though. I want a game of life that is in the real world. It's going to be the same thing. Game of life. You go around, just going around in circles, trying to make the most money that you can. Also, game of life, definitely the American life. Let's just say that. You just go around in circles, trying to make the most money you can, and then at the end of the game, right before somebody wins, I want somebody to go up and just light the thing on fire because we ignored global warming. I feel like that's our generation. That'd be a fun, realistic twist. I don't know, like more like existential twist to real board games. That would be a fun thing if I had time to sit down and write this out. That was the only one that I came. There'd be better ones. I don't care. I'll charge it for you. No. There's like a charger right over there. No, you're fine. It's fine. I'll equal opportunity. It's right over there. There. You have to deal with me, you upped the audience. You upped, what did I say before? 11% of the population. God damn it, I can't think correctly. I just want to sit down and read. Okay. Hi.
I called him, but I didn't ask him to get on the stage. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I'm accidentally doing rituals, manipulate young people. Oh, well, okay, that was Hocus Pocus. I work at a school, and I feel like there is an epidemic at schools, and this is it's growing codependency. If you ever work back at a fuck it, I can't even do this bit. Okay, thank you. Okay, did you? No, there is. I don't. Working at a school right now. Look, let me work this out. What the fuck is going on?
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. No, I deserved this because I was talking while you were talking, and it was the whole thing was I was reading chart. I was reading Clint's chart.
Oh.
I know, and look, it's a weird thing. There is a theme of high Geminis here. There's a Gemini energy that people have in this area. Like, I have my moon is in Gemini. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, I focus. Working at a school's so fucking hard. And I don't understand why any teacher right now has kids. on top of it. And I realized that there is a type of person who needs to take care of somebody else all the time, or they will just freak out. This was my mom. This is probably a lot of people's moms. When they get sick, they are assholes. They constantly have to. Okay, you're laughing at this.
That's actually good.
Thank you. I want a laughter from that. Hi, mysterious people in the back. Okay, cool. Bye-bye. You know, it's free to enter, but it's $10 to exit. I stole your joke.
It's okay. It's cool.
That was also me on the trombone. Okay.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll give you that one.
No, it's okay. That was it. I really. Well, oh no, this is the joke, and then I'll get the fuck out of here. My mom died when I was. I know this is uplifting. My mom's dead. But something that happened, and I don't think I'm the only one, but I feel like when I was like 18 or so, but I feel like my hormones changed, and that hormones just like. For some reason, I can't get this out of my system, is that I just attract older women that want to take care of me. I swear, I like walk around and they start lactating. It's this weird. That is that is it. There, and then I could go into that of the codependency. That was it. I wanted to do that. Bye-bye.
All right, give it up for Andrew Horniman. Oh God, Andrew, you reminded me when you said about like teachers that are moms. Well, see, when I first moved to Austin, I was with this company called the Substitute Switchboard, which is basically substitute teachers for daycares all over Austin. And so I would just go where they wanted me, take care of like newborn to like 4-year-olds all the time. So finally, toward the end of it, I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to have to kind of like say goodbye. I was doing really good. And they were like, well, can we ask why? I said, well, because I eventually want to have kids, and working here makes me want to scoop out my uterus with a fork.
What did they say?
And she was just like, oh, well, we're sorry to lose you. I literally said that. I was like, it was at the end of a long day. I think I had poop on my shirt or something from a baby. Jesus. And I was like, yeah, I got to get on the bus like this. Good night.
Well, I was going to say, Andrew, I didn't know you were a scientist.
Huh?
A scientist?
Yes. How else would you explain his commentary on the Milky Way?
Oh, God. The lactating thing. I know. It's like...
Oh, and I did want to make a comment on Dane earlier. When you were talking about looking at the stars, it kind of reminded me once when me, Ernie, and my kids, we all hiked out an hour and went camping.
Like an hour from the house?
Like an hour from the parking lot. And we went to this place called...
Like the Walmart parking lot? You didn't say where.
I'm about to say it.
She's about to say it.
We went to the,
now you know how it feels when you talk over me every time I'm telling a story.
We went to this place called Lost Maples. It's kind of like west of San Antonio. It's got like maybe about 8 like water electric campsites, and the rest is just hike out. And we hiked in for about an hour. We brought 2 tents, one for me and Ernie, one for the kids. And at one point, we would just kind of stood in the middle of the field, looking up at the Milky Way and watching it move. That's how long we were just like.
See, originally, I had asked our kids if they ever seen satellites. If you look up into the sky, you can see satellites go by. And especially out there was no light pollution at all. So it was really clear. And yeah, and after a while, you could see the Milky Way was. Well, actually, the Earth is spinning, but But you could see it out there. It was so clear.
Oh, so beautiful. And the only point of civilization out there were outhouses. So, but I mean, everything else, I was like, we were cooking over a little propane stove. I had everybody bring in their own water, which was really heavy.
Yeah, like she brought like 45 gallons of water with her.
Everybody brought in their own gallon in their backpack, and yeah, it was kind of heavy. Okay, it was overkill, but if you got thirsty, hey, you had it. But it was so cool. I mean, I still have good memory. I mean, it's funny because you're out there, you're like in a valley, and there is no civilization. No phone reception, so don't even try. Not even the extended network. So, I mean, it's just like whatever. You just use it for a clock, and that's it. And then...
And pictures.
And pictures. And then, like, as soon as we start driving out of the valley where the campground was, all your notifications start coming in at once. It's like, shit! You know? But
How?
Exactly. And so I always have good memories of that where we're just like, we were the only ones out there, and we would hear people like hiking back and forth past our tents, but we were the only ones camping in that area.
Yeah, because there's other trails that,
Yeah.
that splinter off, go different directions and stuff.
And you could literally hike up a hill and camp up there, but yeah, I didn't want to do that. But it was really beautiful. It was really beautiful. Like, always good memories. It's like, how many years ago? About 7?
Wow. It was quite some time ago, yeah.
Yeah, like way before COVID. Okay.
In the before time.
In the before times, before masks were even thought about. And people still didn't know how to wash their hands. Okay, lost in thought. Who's coming up next?
Actually, I was going to do a little bit of advertising. And
You
say,
are?
yes.
Advertising.
Yes, and say this is how good.
Is that cocaine?
No, I was gonna say this is how good the Kick Butt Coffee cookies are. There's nothing left.
Kick butt cookies.
Oh, those are a big hit at the punk shows too. We had one of the drummers from one of the bands last night say, "Oh, you gotta try these cookies." Oh,
You want to get a close up of the.
What's the name of it? You got to tell.
It's the coconut.
It's upside down, dude.
It's the coconut cream pie.
Well, hold it still. Hold it still.
One.
I'm trying to get a close up of it.
He's gonna flip it over so you can read it.
There you go. It's the coconut cream pie cookie. It's very delicious.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good.
Well, eventually, you never know. Because wasn't Danimal gonna like sell some CBD products or something at one point?
I heard that the Circle K's are going to start selling weed, legal weed,
Really?
in certain states. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's CBD. That's diet weed.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, because it's legal in
Keto
certain.
weed.
I didn't read the whole article. I just saw it was on Facebook, so it might not even be true. I just saw it going by real quick.
I'm okay.
Hmm?
I this whole conversation reminds me as a kid, I wrote it out by hand. I wrote it part in cursive and part in print. And it was my first book that I ever wrote. And it was a young adult horror novel about anthropomorphic killer plants. And I called it Weed People.
Oh, I thought you were going to call it Little Shop of Horrors.
Weed killer.
Okay, Weed People?
Yes.
Oh, I thought. Oh, okay.
And it's
I
very
thought it was going to be Weed People.
and it's very fitting because look at the color of Dane's shirt.
Green.
He's one of the
You're one of them, aren't you?
Didn't we refer to his shirt a couple of weeks ago about something?
There you go.
Green Lantern?
Green Lantern. Okay, lost of thought. Who is coming up next?
We are starting over.
We are.
Yes, we are.
We are what?
Dude, we're starting over. Dude.
And
So
we're
Andrew, you can't leave.
Yeah, you're doomed, Andrew.
So take your backpack off and relax.
Try to open the door, Andrew. You'll find that you can't. You're trapped.
People talk on the phone? Wow. I just text. Oh, wow.
Old people too.
I text. I'm old and I text. Okay. Lost of thought.
Hey,
Take it
where's
away.
where's that $10 fee, fucker?
Okay, you've been hanging around me way too much. Damn.
I can't believe people are still watching us online.
They are for real?
Mm-hmm.
Are they?
All right, well, cool. We probably have a bigger audience online. Ha ha. Okay, lost of thought. Who's coming up next?
Well, right now he's having a little convo with Mr. Andrew Hornman.
Oh.
Oh, he's sitting down.
And right now he's assuming his Dean Martin stance.
Whatever
Right.
Clint told him convinced him to stay.
That means I'm right. People from Rochester are intimidating. Thank you, Andrew, for proving my point.
Okay, wait. But I was going to ask you real quick before you bring them up. Are people in Rochester very right wing?
A good majority, but
That explains a whole hell of a lot.
There are definitely a lot of liberal people there too.
That explains a whole hell
New
of a
York
lot.
is
Okay.
pretty much left state, blue state.
But
Okay.
upstate New York is a whole different creature.
Yeah, it's different up there.
Okay. Introduce them. I'm going to go sit down.
So, introducing again, Mr. Clint the Poet.
So, I'm going to recite my favorite poem from one of my favorite poets. But before I do, I want to tell you the backstory to it because it's an afternoon show. There's hardly anybody here, so nobody cares. But it's what got me. It's the poem that got me interested in poetry, and it's "Acquainted with the Night" by Robert Frost. I was in high school, and I loved two things. Well, I fell in love with poetry, and I joined the poetry club at school. Beauty and the Beast with Ron Perlman. Ron Perlman as the Beast. Vincent, I called him my Vincent. I was enamored with him. Even at a young age, I just understood this tortured soul, and I loved him. I just wanted to hug him and pet his mane, and and tell him everything's be okay. I was so in love with this guy, and I loved poetry. And so, one Christmas, I guess because I'm half Mexican, half Scottish, my Scottish grandfather called my mom and said, "What does the lad want for Christmas?" So I guess she told him, well, he loves poetry and he loves Beauty and the Beast. So at Christmas, I get this little gift. I could tell it's a cassette tape. And I go into my room and I open it up. And on the cover is my Vincent. It's Ron Perlman, the Beast. And what it was the A and B side of Ron Perlman in his Beast Vincent voice reciting famous poems. And I was like, this is amazing. So I put it in my dual cassette deck stereo that I had in my room. So at an AM/FM dual cassette deck and a turntable. So that was pretty awesome. And I'm listening to it, have the lights off, I'm looking out the window, and all of a sudden it happened. I heard my Vincent recite "Acquainted with the Night" in his Vincent voice by Robert Frost. Lost my shit. I was like, this, I love poetry. Like, this is like what I'm into, what I want to do and stuff. And before I come into Kick Butt, I've been coming by now, I guess, a little over a year, maybe like a year and a half, something. But I used to perform at the Hideout, and stuff like that. But I will never forget that moment when my two favorite things came together. I mean, I was lost. I was like both lost and found at the same time. You know what I mean? And, tears, just sobbing, bawling my eyes out, because it was such just a magical moment of, transformation and stuff. It was just amazing. I was sitting there, and all of a sudden, because when I read "Acquainted with the Night" by Robert Frost, it spoke to me. It resonated with me. It was, it's a mysterious poem. It's so mysterious, but so many unanswered questions. And, a poet is such a cliche. I'm just a walking cliche, Andrew. Just a tortured soul. No one understands me. and this is brooding, you know. And so just hearing that, I was like, oh, this. I love this world. This is great. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm looking out the window, and all of a sudden I hear Vincent say, I have been one, acquainted with the night. I have been out in rain and back in rain. I have outwalked the furthest city light. I have looked down the saddest city lane. I have passed by the watchman on his beat and dropped my eyes, unwilling to explain. I have stood still and stopped the sound of feet when far away an interrupted cry came over houses from another street, but not to call me back or say goodbye. And further, still, at an unearthly height, one luminary clock against the sky proclaimed that time is neither wrong nor right. I have been one, acquainted with the night. And it just changed my life forever. It's hard to say who's my favorite poet. I love all poets. I love all poets here inspire me. I grew up on the classics, the romantics, and Dylan Thomas and Walt Whitman and E.E. Cummings and Edgar Allan Poe and Maya Angelou, Amanda Gorman. My gosh, but Robert Frost. That poem really did something. And those two things coming together was just such a beautiful thing. And if there's one thing I've learned is that poetry is everything because everything is poetry. Thank you.
All right, give it up for Clint the poet.
It's funny. He was talking about the dual cassette, stereo system. A lot of those. Look at Lane.
You're fogging up your glasses, dude.
A lot of those, especially the portable ones, they had the high-speed dub, right? So you could put a tape in there of like pre-recorded music and a blank tape, and use the high-speed dub to make a copy of it faster. It didn't come out as good, but it was faster. And one day, I was with a friend of mine, and he was getting a copy of Pink Floyd. I can't remember if it was Dark Side of the Moon or The Final Cut, one of those two albums. And we put it on speed dub, and just for fun, we just left the volume up. Because usually people just turn the volume down because it's all fast. But this is Pink Floyd, which is very slow-tempoed music. So with the speed dub and the volume on, it sounded like Queensryche at normal speed. And they used to call Queensryche the Pink Floyd metal band when they first came out. Because they were like a concept band. And they were like the Pink Floyd of the 80s or something like that. And then one day we just did the speed up, and then, you know what? Pink Floyd does sound like Queensryche, but at the faster speed. It was a trip.
All right. Okay, see, right there. Okay, that's perfect. I love that picture of Clint.
I can't see
I
it.
do too. I think that's great.
That's an awesome picture. You know what you should do? Take it in black and white. Okay, good deal. Okay, lost in thought. You're seriously freaking me out. You need to be wearing a morph suit or something. Who's coming up next?
I'm not sure if we have anyone. If anyone wants to volunteer.
Let me see. Well, you already volunteered.
You already.
Dane, would you like to come up and? Okay. Well, no. So, Andrew, do you want?
Didn't you hear him earlier?
Okay, Andrew, that's just cold. Ernie, you haven't broken them out in a while. Ernie B. The B stands for bacon.
Hold on.
Ernie B.
I got to scroll through my pictures because I've got like 3,000 pictures on mine.
Okay, while Ernie B is looking up for his bacon haikus, just make an announcement.
I stored these back in 2013. That's how far back these pictures go on my phone.
Okay. Just to let you know, next week is going to be regular time.
Yes, 7
Yes.
7 to 10, finally.
Finally.
Yeah, we've been having shows like crazy, all of, I keep saying November, all of September and October.
October.
It's just been nuts. I've had like maybe 3 days off this month so far.
Ernie B hasn't been sleeping much.
No, I haven't. I got a show tonight, 4 or 5 bands.
Got a show tomorrow.
Then we got a big Dekaji show tomorrow night. And I think I'm off on Tuesday. I got to check. Finally.
Okay,
so we'll see.
But okay,
Oh, yeah.
okay, nobody wants to go on for an encore, so we're probably gonna have to close it out.
Yeah,
Yep.
but they want to hear some
Oh yeah, okay.
bacon haikus. Okay.
Go for it, bacon.
Bacon haikus. I love bacon, man. It's so crisp and yummy. Stacked on my burger. Sizzling bacon. Smells so good in the kitchen. BLT sandwich. Bacon is my friend. Bacon is not my lover. Could that be a sign? Could this be magic? Or could this just be bacon? Delicious bacon. People love bacon. There should be a holiday, a bacon parade. Talking about bacon. Smell it in the air around. Man, I'm so hungry. Okay, one more. Bacon is greasy. Bacon is not good for you. Eat lots of bacon. Thank you.
All right, give it up for Ernie B's bacon haikus. Oft asked for, rarely heard. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and sign out the show, Ernie. Are you ready for me?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, but like I said earlier, we are back to our regular time next week, 7 to 10. What is that? November what?
I don't know.
Thank you. No. Okay, remind me to.
But I think there's a show the following Sunday again. So
Okay, so but for right now, next Sunday is regular time.
7 to 10. Siete al
Internalize it, love it, write it down, text it to yourself, something. Okay.
Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell people you hardly know. 7 to 10 next week.
Tell that guy screaming on the street corner. No, don't do that. Okay, so should we do the thing?
Yes, let's do the
You
thing.
have been witness to the best open mic in the ATX. Spoken and heard live every Sunday afternoon, except next week. We're at 7 to 10 at Kick Butt Coffee, Music, and Booze. It's not just an open mic, it is a show, not a show without each and every one of you, including you, Clint. Thank you and good